Welcome, gamers! Ladies and gentlemen, One More Game Podcast, Episode 7. Today is 3 April 2022. I am your host, theStroke, here with my good buddy, Swiftmida. Swift, how's it going?
It's going good, you know. Sad about the Duke loss last night.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody knows that's a frequent viewer slash listener. Huge Duke fan. They played. It was a good game. It was actually fun because I was in Vegas, so got to watch it on the 60-foot screen at the Circa
Sportsbook.
Yeah. And there was a lot of UNC fans around, much more than Duke fans. I was kind of alone on an island, but I made some friends. You know, a lot of cheering. It was good. They had their run, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was when it comes to like actual entertainment value, like that was one of the better games I've seen in a long time, and that was cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since the first one, Kansas won by like 15 points, and everyone was kind of bored.
Yeah. So what we'll do today, just to kind of make this a little easier on you, we'll pretend we're in an alternate reality, multiverse, if you will. Duke won. Duke won everything. All video games are released on time and complete with no issues. Gas is cheap again, and Russia doesn't suck. And that's kind of the world we'll live in just for tonight.
That sounds great to me.
Cool. So that being said, while we're living on a cloud, what did you make any money in Vegas while you were there?
Yeah, I did that. We were there for Taze and I's good. We were there for a bachelor party for one of our buddies. And we the first night was a little rough as far as gambling at the tables.
Yeah.
But after the Duke game, I basically had no feelings anymore.
Can't feel anything.
We went to the roulette table, won some money there, and then, dude, I tell you what, we went to the Four Queens on Fremont Street.
Yeah,
and I was down pretty bad. I had taken out $200. I was down, getting close to calling it a night, and then I got the dice, and I, no kidding, rolled, like, not exaggerating, for an hour and a half without rolling a 7 with the button on.
Wow.
We won a lot of money. Our good buddy Polo was there, standing right across the table from me. He won $500 in 30 minutes off of my rolls.
Holy cow. Nice.
Yeah, so we came out on top. It was good. I've never been on a heater like that in Vegas before, and I've been to Vegas way too many times.
Yeah, true. Been there with you probably 5 times.
Yeah, so it was a good feeling.
Nice, dude. Very nice. Well, yeah, the beauty of Vegas is it pays for itself when you go. So
that's right.
That's how that works.
And dude, we made money and had fun, but really, it's all about the experience of being at the table. No masks anymore. There's no dividers in between people, so you really get to converse and hang out with people. Which is fun.
So yeah, COVID Vegas definitely sucked.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
All right, guys. Well, we are One More Game Podcast, the viral podcast taking the very specific category of gaming podcasts by storm. And if you're one of the One More Game loyalists in the chat, welcome. We're happy to have you. And if you're listening for the first time, definitely glad you're here. And we are excited to talk to you about all things gaming. So with that being said, dude, we will get into the news for the week. All right, man. The biggest news this week comes out of PlayStation. So PlayStation is announcing their competitor, I guess you want to call it, to Xbox Game Pass. It's going to be called PlayStation Plus. And then there's going to be essentially 3 tiers that come out in June. You can pay anywhere from $9.99 to $17.99, and that gives you different levels of access to things. So the way that I'll just break it down quickly is if you buy the PlayStation Plus Essential package, which is $9.99 a month, or you can pay it yearly, blah, blah, blah. You know how all that works. Essentially, you'll get 2 monthly downloadable games a month, discounts, and then cloud storage for all your saves, and online multiplayer access. So just like PlayStation had before. So basically, it gives you 2 free games to download, and it lets you play online overall. Okay, if you want to bump it up from there, you can get the same stuff. And for $14.99, you get a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PlayStation 4 and 5 games. But they have come out and said that this will not include their AAA first party releases day one. Kind of like the new God of War won't be day one released. So definitely a little bit different than Xbox. And then if you want to pay the full gamut, so $17.99 a month, you'll get all of that. Plus, they've got 340 additional PlayStation 3 games that you can stream on cloud. And then some other games that you can download or stream from PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and PSP. So a lot of games that you can get access to, but none of that will, unlike Game Pass, you won't be able to like actually download it onto your PlayStation. It'll all just stream from the cloud. So, dude, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is like, are they trying to compete? Is this something totally different? What are your thoughts? Now, we talked about this last week, but now that you see kind of what the pay model looks like and all that, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's cool. Good for PlayStation for doing something like this. I know the $9.99 one is basically what you get right now, right? For PS Plus or whatever they call it. So that's good that they're not changing it. I don't know how much it is now. If you don't pay for it, then that's kind of brutal, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you have to pay $10 a month. But overall, I think it's cool. I don't. You confused me there for a second when you said the middle tier you can download their most enjoyable games. Is that like how are we gauging that? Are we
right?
Is that an IMDb rating or
it has a asterisk next to it? Let me scroll down. Local pricing may vary. PlayStation Plus catalogs may vary by market and tier, and they may change over time. So just like Game Pass, games come on and games come off.
Yeah.
So
how are they gauging most enjoyable?
It doesn't say. So that's kind of a
okay. All right. Well, I guess if you're a PlayStation user, you just have to enjoy what the PlayStation execs enjoy, and then you get those games.
You will like those games, and you will not have anything to say about it. So
yeah, exactly. So that's a little interesting. I don't know how they are doing that, but I think it's pretty cool. The article that I read had basically, like you said, the top tier price, which is $18.99, and that's a lot for a month, right?
Yeah,
that's more than a WoW subscription.
Yeah, that's Netflix level payment, right?
Yeah. I think that's more expensive than Netflix, but I haven't checked my bill recently. But I think it's cool that they're doing the whole like, you get access to previous PS games like that. Yeah. Like that's pretty cool, It's kind of like, and we talked about the Switch, a few weeks ago, whenever it was. But they're doing the same thing with their Nintendo DLC, basically, or you can go back and play the original Zelda, the first Zelda ever played, right? So I think that's cool. We'll see how people feel about it. I don't know. I feel like we have a couple PS players in our close group of gamer friends that maybe can add some light to this throughout the transition, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I think for me, if I had a PlayStation, I don't think the 340 old school games would be enough to make me want to pay, $5 more, or I guess it's only $3 more a month, but yeah.
But if you have some nostalgia attached to them, right, and you just want to play through again, maybe for a month, you pay the extra $3 a month, or for 1 month, and then play through the game, and you're like, yeah, okay, that was awesome, and then you go back to whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. What I'm going to do? I'm going to prove... Remember when I told you that the Crash Bandicoot remake was way harder than the old games? I'm gonna go
Yeah.
play. I'm gonna go play the old ones and prove that they did something weird. I promise.
Yeah.
So I forgot to mention this, but this might be a game changer for me. This might get me to try this out, but they have said that you will be able to use this on PC through cloud streaming. So now someone who doesn't have a PlayStation technically could have access to the PlayStation library.
Which is huge because
Right.
there are some really good games that we talked about last week or the week before that are PlayStation exclusive.
Right. I think I told you if they made this available on PC where I could play it like on that backbone or whatever, or on my computer,
Yeah.
I might try it. And that might be something that happens because I've never got to play Last of Us, the Horizon games. So yeah, that could be a game changer. But overall, I think it doesn't seem like they're directly trying to compete with Game Pass. They're just kind of offering an alternative thing. And they're banking on like people loving their exclusives, and that probably worked for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Right? I mean, we're gonna figure it out when it launches for real. Also, Pickle Matt life hack: you can buy PS right now for $70. It'll auto upgrade to the $120 version when it comes out, so half off basically. So
PlayStation Now,
get in there.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it from us, and by us I mean one of our listeners.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. We will move on to the next topic. So, just announced in a very apologetic manner, the one of the producers of I won't even try to butcher his name, but The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2 has basically apologized that if you're expecting the game to come out this year, that it's delayed until at least 2023. So, no Zelda for this year. Here's how I look at this. Every Zelda game that has come out in my lifetime has been delayed by a year every time it comes out. And it's usually because they're trying to put it on a new console. So like when what was it called? Twilight Princess was delayed by a huge amount of time because it was only supposed to be on GameCube. Well, it came out on the Wii, and that's why it got delayed, because they were trying to optimize it for that. And then same happened with Breath of the Wild. That was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive, and then the Switch was in the works, so they delayed that. So, expect delays.
Yeah.
But it's very funny how these Japanese game developers are so like apologetic and humble when it comes to this type of stuff. They're like, please don't hate us, but this game that you have no control over when it comes out, it's not coming out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's just part of,
the culture
there. Right.
Yeah.
So,
rather than here, they just release a half-baked product and say, have fun.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I didn't read that or hear that until now. So I think it's cool that, I don't know how it typically gets rolled out, but I think it's nice that they're at least being upfront and honest about it. Like, yep, sorry guys, we're behind. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually happy that they're doing this. Like, I would much rather them polish the game up and make it as best as possible. I can wait. Whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. I know you and I talked about this game, but have you gotten back into it since we talked about it? We both said we wanted to try and hop back into it, but neither of us beat it. But I think that might be one of my goals before the next one comes out, is at least finish the game.
What game?
Breath of the Wild.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Still on the same topic.
No, I have not. Dude, I honestly, I haven't turned my Switch on in an embarrassing amount of time.
Yeah.
Because I paid a lot of money for it. So,
get in there.
I don't know that I will ever be back into Zelda. Dude, there's a really good. So instead of playing Zelda and poking my eyes out because I don't know the controls, when I turn my Switch on, I typically just play it's like a food truck game where I just have to cook really fast, and that's it. It's very straightforward.
Nice, dude.
So
hibachi grill.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Another quick bit of news. I just thought this was funny based on yours and my experience with this game recently. But a Twitch streamer has beat Elden Ring without taking any damage at all, which to me seems ungodly, impossible. So
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, you can watch it on stream, but basically he said it took him about 130 hours of play, practice, and runs to get to that point. So he's dedicated
130 hours?
130 hours.
Okay.
And this is a kind of streamer who's known for, speed runs and no damage runs in these kind of games.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see how it's done, go watch this dude take no damage in one of the hardest games I've ever played. And we'll talk about it, but
Yeah, that literally seems impossible to me.
Yeah, to me, I would, if I were to make a stream with the same type of title, it'd be no damage from the very first bad guy, because I can't even kill one thing without taking damage. But
Yeah. I literally tried to kill in the game where you're like kind of adventuring and you decide instead of going with the storyline, you're just going to wander around the cliffs and kill eagles or some other animal. I took damage from an eagle, and they're not even aggressive.
Yeah, they don't attack
just
you.
Fluttering away, it hit me. It was
nice,
like, I don't know how that's possible.
Well, just watch this stream and you'll know how to do it.
Yeah, got to get the hot takes.
Nice, dude. Cool. Other than that, not a whole lot of news to get into. Really, the big one is the PlayStation Plus, and that's coming out in June. So stand by for that. I might dabble into that and get you guys some more talking points about PlayStation games if I can play them on my PC. But other than that, I know there was a good bit of funny news articles that came out a couple days ago for April Fools. Any ones that you saw that made you chuckle?
I hate April Fools.
Yeah.
It's like why do we do that?
I don't know.
But yeah, well, you're on our Discord obviously, and one of our buddies said Verdansk is back, and I was like, we were on the way to Vegas. Like I was in the car and read that, and I was like, wait, what? Is it actually? And he immediately owned up. He's like, no, it's not. It's April 1st, and I was like, yeah, this is why I hate this day.
Yeah, there was some good ones. There was a Razer always comes out with some high quality, like good spoofs. Let's see if I can pull up some images of what they released, but it was pretty funny. They made the whole metaverse joke with the full body, full contact Ready Player One suit, and made it look real legit. And they always spend a good amount of time making. I can't find it, but I thought it was good.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
You know how they do it. Razer Chroma enabled and full damage and blah blah blah. It was really funny.
Yeah, nice.
I guess there is a bit of news that I just forgot about that we didn't mention, but E3 2022 canceled. Just for
you canceled, dude.
Everything's canceled. No more fun. So
nope.
Which kind of sucks because I like.
Is it because of COVID or what?
Yeah, generally COVID. Like they said they would be fine with having the event, but they haven't had enough time to basically get it set up and planned. And a lot of game companies are just having their own like announcement shows, so there's not enough content for them to produce a full show. And then of course COVID.
That's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird to me that there wasn't enough time to plan it because we were literally stuck in our houses for a year.
Right.
Like somebody could have planned it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Not judging, obviously.
Yeah. So it's kind of moving that way, dude. I hope it goes back the other way, but it would be cool if everything didn't get canceled because we're not supposed to gather anymore. But
Which is so absurd. Like, COVID's over. Let's
Yeah,
all admit that it's over.
move on. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I would not be surprised if
Sorry,
E3 never comes back,
yeah.
but we'll see.
I don't know. I didn't mean to offend anybody if you're suffering from COVID, but it's not like, come on, we're past the brunt of it.
Yeah, hopefully it stays that way. Cool,
Yeah.
man. That is the news for the week. You got anything else you wanted to bring up?
No.
Cool. Let's get into our games radar for this month. All right, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a little rough for the next 2 months if you're looking forward to new big releases, because there are not a whole lot of them. The two that I found that you might care about is the Lego Star Wars Saga is essentially the Lego games, how they kind of piggyback off of the movies and make a parody out of it. And have you ever played any of the Lego games?
I never have, no.
Yeah, they're kind of funny. There's a good bit of humor in there, just like the Lego movie.
I've seen the movies, and they're entertaining for sure.
Yeah, it'll take a lot of the Star Wars tropes and make a joke about them, and it actually looks pretty cool overall. But that'll come out April 5th, which is in a couple days, along with MLB The Show for this year, 2022, with Shohei Ohtani on the cover. And those are basically all you have coming out this week that I kind of didn't see anything else I thought anyone would be interested in. And then the rest of April is going to be pretty rough unless you're into some real indie type stuff. But the Nintendo Switch Sports game comes out on April 29th, which might be a good time, especially with a family get together. But
yeah.
Anything else on your horizon, games wise, life wise?
No, dude, I have too many games to play already. I can't add another one.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually excited that not more games aren't coming out, because it gives me time to kind of play the games that I've wanted to.
Yeah.
Cool. We gotta get that grind in on all the games. All right. So up on one more game podcast radar, I got a cool little possible treat in the works on our radar. So I'm working with some people over at, I don't, if anyone has been to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's an Arlington Esports Stadium where they run esports events. They used to do Overwatch League there. They don't do that anymore, but they run kind of Warzone tournaments and all kinds of stuff nowadays. But working with them with a possible live stream from there with one more game, and coming to you from the stage of Arlington Esports Stadium. So stay tuned for that. We'll get you news out on Twitter at OMG_podcastGG with news on that. What are your thoughts? You ready for the big time, the big show?
Oh, dude, I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't know. It's nice to sit in my secluded office and talk about video games. I think I would probably choke if I was in front of any more than one person.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out, you know?
Nothing a little liquid courage can't solve. All right.
That's true. That's true.
Cool, man. I'm looking forward to that. I'll let you know if anything pans out from that. And, as we start growing, because you guys are so awesome and sending us emails all the time and hitting us up on social media, and things start kind of rolling, I promise you that we won't forget about you guys and leave you in the dust and start, making this a thing where you got to pay to listen and blah, blah, blah. We'll remember where we came from. Yeah, maybe big things on the horizon. So we'll see.
Can't wait.
Cool. All right, dude. You good with news and radar? You wanna get into the nitty gritty?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right. So this week, our major topic is going to be our first kind of a little bit more serious topic, but we'll try to keep it lighthearted and not shed any tears out here. But we're going to talk to you guys today about.
I don't like getting serious.
Yeah, no. But we'll bring it down a notch maybe and talk about whether or not gaming is an addiction, and if so, is it dangerous or should you even care? So let's get into it. All right, so anyone who is a longtime gamer, right? They're gonna have people talk to them about how much they play video games, right? Especially as you start becoming an adult. It kind of led me to the thought process of thinking about, like, at some point you have to ask yourself, is this something that I should keep doing at this level? So it kind of just brought up the question in my mind: is gaming an addiction, or is it kind of more of a hobby? And where's the line with that? Have you ever thought about this topic before?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. When I used to play WoW, I was, and people would say it to me like, dude, I think you're addicted to video games, and I was like, well, I'm not addicted to them. I just need them. It's a difference.
Right. I can quit whenever I want.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I feel like I should apologize to people. My voice is like very hoarse because I was yelling in Vegas all weekend. So sorry if I sound a little bit different or hoarse.
Yeah, he's running on fumes, but he's so dedicated to you guys that he's here.
We're gonna get through it,
battling through. So cool. Yeah, I just drank a double espresso at 8:00 at night. So let's go.
That sounds horrible.
All right, so let's just get into like a general discussion about addiction. I found a decent one online, but I'll just read it out. So addiction is when one feels so compelled to do something or consume something that they will do that thing or consume that thing despite negative consequences one way or the other. And I kind of broke it down into like physical addiction, where like your body is chemically addicted to something, which we see all the time in the world, right? And then there's like a psychological addiction where something is so ingrained in your habit patterns that you feel like you need to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Cool. So with that being said, did you think gaming can fall into that category sometimes?
I think it can, absolutely, right? When you sit in front of a computer for 12 hours a day, and I'm not saying everybody that sits in front of a computer for 12 hours a day is addicted to gaming, but I think like some people are predisposed to addiction, right?
Right.
So if that said person gets into gaming and that's all they want to do in their life, then absolutely it can be, defined as addiction.
Right. Yeah, I agree, dude. And kind of by Pitwob in the chat says he's addicted to One More Game podcast. So yep, keep it going. Get those dopamine hits one episode at a time. But yeah, kind of by definition, right? The way you design a game, if you think about the earliest games, it's designed for you to repeat an activity, whether that changes a little bit or not over time, like levels. You have to build a game with what's called a gameplay loop. So it has to be something that you get someone wanting to do repeatedly over and over and over again, right? So kind of just very basically, I think gaming in general is designed to be addictive, not necessarily an addiction, but so you got to remember you're immediately working on that premise of like, I'm doing this activity that was designed to be repeatable over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean, South Park does the World of Warcraft episode back in the day. One of my favorite episodes of all time. I mean, it's hilarious, but it literally talks about like the kids in the show being addicted to World of Warcraft because it is addicting, right? And the most recent thing that I can think of as far as that loop that you're talking about is in Lost Ark. When you hit the end game, you have to do these raids and all this other stuff, like to gain materials so you can hone your gear to do more things, right? And it's just like back and forth. So you raid, then you hone, then you raid, then you hone, and you can't do one without the other. And so it just keeps you in the game, right? So So yeah, I mean, they are built to keep you engaged so that you. And for Lost Ark, it's a little bit different because you're not paying for it, but they're still getting, all the money for it because of views and plays and all the things. But they are built to keep you totally engaged so that you don't want to go walk the dog. Because I find myself in that scenario like 4 times a week.
Why have you shat on the floor? Because I've been staring at this screen for 8 hours.
Shame on you,
You bad dog,
for pooping on my floor despite me not taking you out for 12 hours.
Yeah, imagine it from his perspective or the dog's perspective. Paige,
Yeah,
she's looking up at you like, why is he staring at that bright light for 8 hours?
I know, right? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening up there?
Yeah, I kind of agree, dude. I think Lost Ark is like a master's class in this type of design philosophy because at its very core, like the actual button pressing is such a fun game loop, like the order that you can press them in and how things. I mean, you're doing the same thing 10,000 times, right? But it's very satisfying. It's like designed to give you that, like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to do that again in different situations. So these
especially
days,
because all the moves. Sorry,
no, you're good.
especially because like all the moves for all the characters are designed to look really good,
Right.
right? So you see something and you kill, 10 enemies in a single swing. For instance, I'm a berserker, so I swing my big sword one time and kill 10 enemies, and you're just like, oh yeah, that was satisfying. I'm gonna keep doing this.
I'm awesome
forever.
Yeah. It is they've done a masterwork on making that a very enjoyable thing, and then it kind of builds off of that, right? Like, okay, the actual button pressing loop is really fun. Okay, now like the missions are kind of a loop that are kind of fun, and like just like you talked about honing dungeon raids, that's kind of fun to start, and then you start thinking about like, what am I doing? I'm doing the same thing, like Destiny, right? They're called weekly quests, and you just do the same thing every week to get better gear. But that gear reward is such like your dopamine hit, right? That you're like, oh, I got to do this every week.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so many.
I think
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
You go. We're in a game. We're in a never-ending loop.
Yeah, we're talking about loops now. We're in one. Dude, I think, like you said, it's addicting just because there is so much stuff to do that, like, now you have to find the next thing, right? And you talk about gear honing or raid honing. So I was talking to a buddy, Anthony, who is we were at his bachelor party this weekend, and so not only Lost Ark is developed to be like engaging, right, to get you drawn into the story and then the gear, because you have to get better gear to progress, right, at some point. But I was talking to him, and he said he just got to tier 2, which, if you don't know anything about Lost Ark, there's gear to start, it's all tier 1, right? And then you hit a certain item level, you move to a new continent, then it's tier 2. There's tier 3 gear, but you have to do all the same things. So like, you hone and like develop your gear is basically a better way to say that, instead of honing. But you develop your gear all in tier 1, and you spend a lot of time and materials, and most importantly time, doing it. And then you go to the next continent, and now all of a sudden you're tier 2, and that tier 2 gear out levels all the time that you spent developing your tier 1 gear. So then you just have to start the process over, and then same thing with tier 3, you start over. So it's like, yeah, I mean, people call it a grind, but at the same time, like, it is, if you're not careful, it can be a detriment to your health and sanity because you're spending all day long doing this.
Right. It's no longer, you're not playing because you want to, you're playing because you kind of feel like you have to. And there's so much competition in the games world these days that the way that they can compete with all these other games is to create that loop that makes it so you spend more time in their game. The more time you spend in their game, let's say for a free to play game, the more time that you might happen to spend money because you're seeing cool stuff in there, right? So
Right.
it's just there's these strategies are required to keep you engaged in their game, just like you mentioned. So you need to go in there with that understanding, or otherwise you can find yourself in a dark place with that.
Especially with a game like Lost Ark, where free to play, right? But
Yeah.
buy to win.
Right.
So if you're a competitive person, like I know we both are, like you might feel you're behind the power curve, but don't spend the money. Don't
Right.
waste your hard-earned dollars to get a skin or a sword that's better. Just if you're gonna play the game, play the game. Take a break every once in a while, but don't spend your hard-earned dollars. Like I say that, but I bought all the battle passes in COD, and like there's all kinds of stuff that you can spend your money on. But I just recommend just play the game, level up with your hours put into the game instead of your money that you have worked so hard to collect.
Yeah, one of the guys in chat just brought up, Adri said limited time skins as long as you put in 40 hours a week grinding for it, and you got 2 weeks to get it, right? So it's like these games create, not only is it addictive in their little loops, but then they're like, oh, you better hurry up or else you're not going to be able to get this falsely scarce item. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. All right, so that being said, we're both kind of in agreement that gaming can be very addictive and it's designed to be so.
Yeah.
Does that matter to you? Like, is that a bad thing? Like, can that be considered good in a sense? Like, the way I see it, I'd much rather be addicted to this activity than out drinking every night, out drugging up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think
know that's dramatic, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit. It's not different. Addiction is addiction, right? If you're addicted to a game, you sit in your house all day long and you play video games and you don't socialize with people, whatever, right? You can be addicted to drugs, alcohol, whatever. I think that where I don't know. I think that where you have to kind of draw the line, and like I said, some people have a very addictive personality. I think I'm very much in that boat where I have an addictive personality. So it's a fine line with me, where I spend my time, and I think getting married and trying to start a family and all the things has helped with that. Because, dude, when I was, I think we talked about it. We, like in high school, I used to play WoW for hours and hours, and
Right.
I was on the basketball team, sure, right? So I would do that, but I like the whole time I was playing basketball, I was like, well, yeah, this has been fun, but oh, you guys are gonna shoot shots after the game? No, I'm gonna go home and play WoW. So you just have to find the line where it's not affecting your health or your time, right? Time is a very valuable asset in all of our lives. So if you're enjoying the game, then play the game. Take time out of your day to go out and, like Pickle Matt said, touch grass. It's like hang out with people, right?
Yeah, he brought up that touch grass thing, and it reminded me of I think it was HyperX. They made an April Fool's thing where they released a keyboard that was covered in grass so that you could say that you were touching grass.
Yeah,
so, there you go. There's another one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fine line, right? And there are people who like I think healthfully addicted is absolutely a thing, right?
Yeah.
I would say that I'm healthfully addicted to video games. My wife doesn't really like it because when I come home from work, I say, "What's up?" We have dinner, and then I'm up here gaming, and she's hanging out. So, but again, like you gotta find time to spend with your family and friends.
Yeah, agreed. And just like all forms of addiction, like when that starts negatively impacting your life, that's when you need to start taking a good hard look at it. That being said, it'd probably be
Yeah.
remiss not to just let you guys know, like if you are struggling with anything like this, whether it's games or alcohol or whatever, we're always here as a support group. But most importantly, the SAMHSA National Helpline, everyone should know, is 1-800-662-4357. You can call anyone there at any time and talk about anything uh, if you got problems. So always, you always have that resource, or just be there for people when they need to talk about this type of stuff. But I'm kind of the opinion, dude, that, and it's really cool. I read this really cool article about this guy who basically gave his life story. He was addicted to drugs, like selling his body for drugs and all that kind of craziness. And he talked about discovering Final Fantasy 14 and how it essentially saved his life because it got him addicted, but it got him away from all that crap. And there's a bunch of other streamers too who kind of mention stuff like that, like how streaming kind of saved them or gaming in general. So
Yeah.
it can be a good thing if you treat it the right way.
I agree. And like you said, it's better than the alternative, right? You just told that story about the dude addicted to drugs. Like, it's better than that.
Yeah, agreed. Yep, all balance in all things in life is the key, and so cool. All that being said, maybe we'll get into some personal type examples of some stuff. So Swift has already kind of touched on World of Warcraft being one of them, but for me myself, yeah, for World of Warcraft, I guess while I was doing it, I wouldn't have called myself addicted. But then again, that's what addicts say, right? Like I'm not addicted. But I definitely felt like there was a certain amount of time that I was required to dedicate to it if I wanted to play it at a high level. So for sure, at one point in my life, I was avoiding, like not avoiding, but like conveniently missing out on social events because I needed to, raid and WoW. And this day and age is kind of crazy because a lot of our social interaction happens in gaming, like Discord and all that. Like I get a lot of my friend time hanging out with you guys online, right? So it used to be.
We were talking about that on the way back from Vegas because we were talking about college and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I think Craig might be the only guy that I like continuously talk to from college. Like Craig and I were best friends in college. And then I realized like, well, I don't take the time to call him and he doesn't call me, but we
Right.
literally just play video games. So that's where we get our like friend time, you know?
Yeah. So it's kind of weird because you used to associate like a gamer with being a recluse inside and not having friends, but these days you can be addicted to
Yeah.
gaming and be hanging out with your friends virtually all day long. So
Yep.
kind of crazy, but cool. So yeah, that being said, for World of Warcraft for me, I definitely remember a time where I was like, I saw the game for what it was, and I was like, this game is just making me play. I'm not even having
Yeah.
fun. Like I wouldn't even qualify what I'm doing as fun. I'm just doing it because I'm in that loop.
Right.
So I think that's kind of when you and I both stopped playing. We're like, dude, like when we were grinding to be able to fly in Battle for Azeroth. I was like,
Yep.
how much did you grind today, dude? And you're like, oh, it's so terrible. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Why are we wasting our time playing this game?
Yeah.
Because you literally had to do dailies, right? Every day and it wasn't a short amount of time.
No, it
You
was
had to do
like,
it for hours every single day.
ugh,
So at that point, we were both kind of like, "Yeah, no, let's not do this anymore."
agreed. Pickle Matt in chat says he's comparing me to his dealer. Says theStroke is always pressuring me to get my light level up in Destiny. I'm an
Yeah.
enabler, I guess.
Well, dude, you gotta get it. You gotta get that light level up. You know.
Yeah. It's not a matter of if you want to. It's we need you in the raid, so you have commitments.
Yeah. We need 6. Come on.
All right, dude. The other thing I was thinking about was there was one time where I was getting pretty serious into Heroes of the Storm, like competitive play. Like I was in a league and we were in the playoffs and there was a big tournament. And my wife, there was a big event at work, right? You guys were all there. It's like its annual awards ceremony that the Air Force does at all bases. And
Yeah.
it's a big party, right? It's in a hangar. There's food and drinks and announcements, and it's like a big Nerf war kind of thing going on, you know. And my wife was also in the Air Force, and I literally think she was winning an award that night, and I
It
chose to.
was. I saw it.
Yeah, she has. It's a big trophy in our living room, but uh, I literally chose to stay home. We got a babysitter for like the first time since Liam was born, and I chose to stay home and play in that tournament in a stupid video game tournament rather than go and hang out with my friends and see my wife win an award and like have a good time and enjoy the time away from like always watching the kid. Uh, and when she came home, I was just like, I just felt not good, and I think we lost too, so that didn't help. Uh, I just remember that that moment in life it was probably like the first time that Jen and I had a serious talk about like the amount of gaming that I was doing, but like the times that I was doing them at. She's like, dude, I don't see you at night. Like I go to bed alone. Like you're missing stuff like this. And I had to take a good hard look and be like, all right, this is not worth the squeeze overall. So yeah, that's when I first noticed that gaming was having like negative impacts on what was going on in my life, and I decided from that moment to not let that happen and not let myself be focused on the wrong things that weren't important. Yeah, I think you called me and made fun of me that night, or maybe easy, but
Yeah, I'm sure one of us did.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's tough because you feel like, I don't know. Yeah, you have, obviously, like we've preached so far in the podcast, like family is the most important thing, right? In the entire world. So you have to support your family. Tays made a dumb mistake, whatever, because he was probably feeling pressured from his teammates that wanted to win this tournament, right?
right,
So you have to balance, because these people who you may or may not know want to win just like the rest of us, right? I'm a very competitive person. I want to win at everything that I do. I won go-karts so hard yesterday in Vegas. I was rubbing it in everybody's faces, right? So we want to win just in general. And so I feel like most people are like that. But you have to balance the people who truly matter in your life, like your wife and your kids, versus your teammates saying, "Dude, come on,
right.
we're close. We got to win this." Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say
But
you're a great example with that because you're basically impervious to peer pressure. I've noticed. So like
oh yeah, I don't care about peer pressure at all.
if we're bitching at you about staying on to finish the raid or whatever, you're like, peace, boys. I'm done. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely didn't feel like a good person after that one, but it kind of opened my eyes. So
that's all right.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
make mistakes, right? Jen forgave you. You guys are still killing it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of winning and go karts, I would like to announce to the stream. I'm ashamed, but I lost my first Mario Kart race in my life today. Uh, got second
Who?
place. I had a buddy over, an IRL friend that we made through Liam's hockey league, and he came over with the kids, and
Love that.
kids wanted to play Mario Kart, and he beat me on the third race of the cup. And so yeah, I'm done. I'm retiring. I've lost the edge.
The kid beat you, or
No,
your
no,
friend?
no. The friend did. He's saucy in our
Okay.
in our gaming guild, but yeah. So
Got it. Okay.
I'm done, dude. Hanging up the hat and
That's
yeah.
right. Hang it up.
It was a glorious career. Cool, dude. You got any like personal moments where you were like, dude, this is I need to take a look in the mirror and be like, is this smart? What's up?
No, well, I feel like I talked about WoW, and I think I probably missed a lot of parties in college because I was still gaming underneath my bed because we had those high-rise beds that you
Oh
just
yeah.
fit the desk under. And my roommates would just come back and be like, dude, you're such a nerd. And I didn't care at that point, but it probably would have been better to be out socializing, but
Yeah, I agree.
nothing crazy.
I was thinking about it, like, you're not going to be on your deathbed and go, I wish I had played more video games. It's kind of the same philosophy.
Yeah, I wish I would have made that.
Yeah. Oh,
I wish I would have made that one raid back in the day.
You will miss out on the things that you didn't do with the people that you care about. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, that kind of brings us through our personal experiences with the dark side of gaming, if you will. But let's just talk about some general, like we've alluded to some of them, but healthy balance strategies to balance this, because we've got a lot of experience balancing this hobby, this passion with life, right? Like, you are an F-16 pilot. That's not a job that you can not stay up to date on like every day, right? Like you can kill yourself if you don't stay sharp. So you've kind of had to deal with like how to manage how much time you're investing in gaming and family and work. So let's just talk a little bit about our experiences with it. So I kind of, first step, if this is an important passion for you or hobby, build it into your schedule in a smart way so that you know how much time you're going to dedicate to it, and then don't make it more than that, right? If you find yourself being compelled to do it more than that, that means that it's a problem. If you logically think about how much time you want to spend doing it and then you end up doing more than that, then that's probably a bad sign. What do you think? Have you tried to, like, I know you work a random schedule, so you kind of just play when you can, but I try to like tell my wife, hey, we're going to stream here. I'd like to play games here, blah, blah, blah.
No, I do the same thing. And she gets it. She knows it's an important part of my life, which is why I, ringed her up.
Yeah, get a ring on that.
Yeah. I think it's important. Like you said, if it's important to you, and not necessarily need it, but if it's like a big part of your daily, I don't know, schedule, then make sure you have it allotted where you're not wasting time doing other stuff that you don't really care about.
Right.
For instance, watching Twitch or whatever. Like, dude, if you're gonna game, then game, right? If you have it built in the schedule. Shannon knows that for me, just to build on your point a little bit, for me, when I get home from work, like, I can't just go, well, all right, so we'll talk about last week, right? Flying nights. I get home at 11:30 p.m., right? And for some people, they can go straight to bed.
Yeah.
Right? They can just turn off the brain and go straight to bed. But that's not how my mind works. So I need time to decompress, whether it's watching TV or playing video games. Typically, it's playing video games. So when Shannon stays up and like says hi when I get home, we kiss. I kiss the doggo, like, hey, okay, I like get ready for bed, throw on shorts or whatever, and then she goes to bed and she's like, yeah, like go play video games. So I play for an hour or whatever it happens to be, right?
Yeah.
Just to like get away from the work vibe and just calm down a little bit. And it's not like I'm super stressed at work, but I just need some time to like not think, right?
Right. Like, just
And just like
do something mindless for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's how I work. And so she knows, and she is very supportive as far as, yeah, like, babe, go play video games. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you in the morning, and that's the end of it, which is nice. So always helpful, very helpful to have a supportive spouse, because if they're not supportive, it's you're gonna have to give up one or the other, and I hope it's not your spouse.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Like, my wife is a saint when it comes to this, because when I was really starting to like delve deep into this like PTSD stuff and having issues with flying and stuff, we kind of realized that I wasn't spending enough time like taking care of myself a little bit. And she literally came into me and was like, "You need to game more." I was like, "What?" Because I was just so used to like wanting to dedicate time to her, right? And she's like, "You need to spend more time like with your friends online, and because when you don't have that, you're not taking care of yourself like mentally, emotionally." For me, I've definitely noticed if I go a long period of time with not just getting that, it's just like a release from just normal everyday stuff, and just let myself do something
real life.
An escape from that. Not saying like life sucks, but I'm just saying it's my way of decompressing, just like you mentioned. And so when I don't have that, I kind of get crabby, and she notices. And so just take care of yourself. If this is it's something that was ingrained in me from childhood, dude. Like, video games were an escape from things, and they've always brought me like happiness in that way. So just because you're doing it a lot and it might have negative effects on some things in your life, that doesn't mean just quit cold turkey, because you're going to find yourself in an equally dark place and being unhappy. Cool. Yeah. So get yourself a wife who understands your addiction. Just kidding. But seriously. All right. My other coping strategy, or not healthy balance strategy, that I'll bring up is just remember what you can miss in the real world. So have more FOMO about real life than you do about gaming, right? So virtually, there's nothing that you are doing in gaming, whether the companies want you to know or not, that you can't do later. Like, you can always play later. The game will be there unless they pull the plug on the servers, right? So
it's not going anywhere.
Right. We talked about it. You're not going to die wishing you had spent more time online. So keep a healthy perspective there, and I think that'll kind of be your general guide to making good choices when it comes to gaming. Cool. This one I think is huge, and every time I have a buddy who tells me he's getting married, I always have this conversation with him, but I say, you need to make sure that there's like a mutual understanding that he or she knows how much you game. So Jen always tells a funny story. She's like, one night at pilot training, you guys, I think it was a naming or something, and you came home 3 sheets to the wind, and we were still dating at the time. And she's like, and you grabbed me by the back of the neck, and you're like, I have to tell you something. And she's like, oh God, what is he going to admit to me? And I was like, I play a lot of video games in drunkenness. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, no, I think you don't understand. I play a lot of video games. And she's like, I know. So I just always want people to make sure that when they're building these relationships that are going to be important for the rest of their life, go in with that foundation that you're on the same like understanding of how important it is to you, and they can share the same things that they care about too, right? Just so that they're not like blindsided, right? Because I've had friends who marry someone and they live together for the first time, and when the wife realizes how much time he or she wants to dedicate to gaming, it sometimes causes major issues if you're not on the same page, right?
Oh yeah.
So I remember when you told me that you told Shannon, you're like, just so you know what you're getting into.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's always super important to be straight up and honest about who you are as a person, with your potential very significant other.
Right.
Gaming is the same way, and just like don't feel weird about being a nerd, because being a nerd's the best thing ever.
Yep.
But be honest about it, because if you, I have exes who had no idea, and when we were together, I never played, and I was miserable because I couldn't do it, right? And then
you were hiding it, right?
when I was away from them, and when I was away from them, I would play video games a lot more and not respond to texts or anything, and whatever. That doesn't matter at this point, but like it's obviously very important to just be upfront. Yep, I play a lot of video games. You're either going to be okay with this, or we're probably not going to work if it's a significant part of your life, like it is for me.
Yeah, for sure. Just make sure they know, and build it on trust and all that stuff. Like the priest is going to tell you when you get married, or rabbi, or whatever, what have you. Cool. I think that one's huge, especially if you're settling down and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. And then lastly, just kind of going off the cuff here, as you get older or life changes, you need to understand that your relationship with games, whether that be what kind of games you play, how much time you spend doing it, it's going to alter and change, right? Like you became a pilot and your schedule is crazy, right? And so you can't just play at the same time every day. You're not going to make raid night that's scheduled and WoW, all that kind of stuff. So how, like, can you give any specifics of like how your gaming life has changed since you moved in with Shannon?
Honestly, I don't think it's changed in the fact that I can't spend all day gaming on Saturday or Sunday, overall it hasn't changed a ton for me, because just like we talked about, she's very supportive about me like doing the thing that I love doing, despite her qualms at some points, right, when she's trying to hang out. But I would say that the thing that changed most for me is when I married her. It changed from me gaming to me, I don't know, not wasting time, because I don't think of it as a waste of time, but it changed my perspective, I guess, is the best way to say it. Because like when Shannon is downstairs cooking and I'm up here gaming, I feel bad. Like I want to hang out with her, right? She's my wife. I love spending time with her, and I want to sit on the couch and watch dumb New Girl. Like we're almost done with New Girl, because she had never seen it before. So so that's where I'm just balancing time, as far as like, I need to decompress and play video games because it's important to me, but I also want to spend time with her. And I'll tell you, my previous exes, gaming was like an escape from them.
Right.
So this is it's a nice change,
Yeah, exactly. Like it's good that your wife is someone that draws you away from your hobbies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a worse feeling in the world where like you just got done playing games for a couple hours and you go out back to reality, and like your wife just did something like uber responsible, like fold the laundry or something like that. You're like, oh no. What have I done?
It's a horrible feeling, right? Or when there's been, and like obviously none of us are perfect, but there's been many times that I have been like, okay, babe, like, yep, we said hello, we had some dinner. All right, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna play for an hour, and I come back downstairs, and she's sleeping on the couch, and I'm just like, man, I just missed out on the whole evening where we could have hung out, and not that she cares necessarily, but at the same time, like it affects you overall as far as where you're dedicating your time.
Yeah, agreed. That's good that it's kind of reoriented your priorities and kind of what you
oh, absolutely,
the way you interact with gaming. But like you haven't abandoned it, right? Like this is still a passion for you. You're literally talking about video games on a podcast.
Yeah,
So
no, I will never abandon. Dude, I'm gonna be the guy when Shannon locks me up because I'm senile in a
and your
home.
and your neck's
I'm
all jacked
still
up from flying fighter jets.
yeah from fighters, and I can't move because my back's broken.
You can only move
I'm
your
still gonna be the
thumbs.
guy. I'm still gonna be the guy telling the nurse to plug in my switch into the TV so I can just move my thumbs as I play video games.
Yeah, dude. I have a prediction that retirement homes for our generation are going to be crazy. Like you're going to have LAN parties, and it's
Oh
going to be
yeah, I can't
crazy.
wait.
Yeah,
I actually recommended prior to going this weekend. Saul did not like it, but I was like, "Hey, should we all bring our laptops and set up a LAN party
hell
during the
yeah.
bachelor party?" And he shot that down immediately. But I thought it
Mm,
was a good idea.
that's my idea of a bachelor party. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. I thought I would take the moment to talk about fatherhood and gaming. So
Yeah, please, because we're trying to start it. So please
yeah,
give me insight.
I'll give you the pitfalls to watch out for. So
Yeah,
not saying I perfected it. I'm sure my wife, she's working a schedule where she has to get up pretty early, and so now if I choose to game at night, which is really like with the kids the only time that it's feasible,
yeah,
I'm essentially sacrificing like that wind down bedtime with her because she's got
right.
to go to bed early.
Yeah,
So it's made me have to really contemplate whether or not it's worth it. Um, cool, but fatherhood was like the biggest change in my life because not only was I immediately like infatuated with this little guy, right, or girl,
it's a
both of
little
them,
not non-human.
right. I've never had something like draw my attention away from the other things that I love so quickly as a child.
Yeah,
Um, but there's the responsibility you now have does not invite playing games in a manner that you can't get up and walk away, right? Like it's kind of coincided with that whole Heroes of the Storm tournament I was telling you about, but like I learned during that period of time that I just couldn't play competitively like that because
right.
Jen needed help or the kids needed me like immediately, right? Like
And yeah,
I
and
can't be
surprise, surprise, these days you can't pause the game because it's
right.
all online.
Yeah, we've been telling our parents that for years and they never understood, but like now I understand the other way around. I
Yeah,
can't pause this, so maybe I shouldn't be playing this because if my kid starts choking and my team is yelling at me because I'm AFK, yeah, I understand what the priority is, but like it gets even harder than that when
right.
so it's kind of drawn me into a closer relationship with like more low key, chill type games. So that's Liam is the reason I started playing Hearthstone a lot because
Yeah,
it was a game that I could like literally have him with me and like enjoy like he's watching the pretty colors flash, right? Like he's just a little drunk person trying to hold his nugget up and infatuated with what's going on.
yeah,
I got him early to addicted to video games early. Don't worry, folks.
that's right.
Parenting
Dude, I
tips.
also remember. I also remember you guys when I would come over to your place. He would be playing. That was back in the time when we were playing WoW, and he was obsessed with like the dragons and dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he wanted to see like go look at that dinosaur and wow, right?
Yeah,
Like he would
yeah,
just want me to walk up to the different mounts and whatnot. Uh yeah, so it kind of changed my perspective of like what games I could play. And as they've gotten older, it's been a little bit easier to like, when they're playing and stuff, I can log in and they can come down and look at what I'm doing. But it's also made me very mindful of like what they can see on the screen. Like,
right.
I don't play shooters when they're around. I don't like to anything scary or that could be conceived as like Destiny is not a game that you want to have your kids see because there's some creepy stuff in there. Elden Ring, like that stuff has to be all private, right?
Yeah,
Not only that, but dude, you lose a lot of time. Not lose a lot of time, but a lot of your time goes elsewhere when you have a kid, right? Like
right.
it's hard. And I would say Jen and I are so good at everything in life. We never argue with each other about stupid stuff. The only major arguments we've had is when we're both just lack of sleep, tired, kids are keeping us up, and you just lose a little bit of that ability to cope, and you get mad at each other. And
Yeah.
nowadays it's just like, and sometimes video games felt like it was kind of at like some of that tension, because that was also taking up some of my time that she would like to have with me, right?
Yeah.
So just like you, it just really changed my perspective on what I was doing with my time, and how little time I actually had. And but it also has given me a whole new world of fun, right? So like when you have kids, this is what you get to realize when you have your first kid. You immediately now have a gaming partner for the rest of your life or their life.
Oh yeah.
Like playing fun games with him on the Switch has been so fun. Like when we beat Mario Odyssey together, like it was super cool just to see
Yeah,
how much
that's so cool.
he shares the passion. You got to be healthy with it, right? Because kids are moldable, and
Got to watch that screen time, you know?
yeah. But yeah, dude, definitely gonna be a game changer. And I would say like the first year, you're gonna have a lot less gaming because you're not gonna know what to do, and
Oh yeah.
you're both
I'm very aware.
yeah. So you guys remember me being like, I think there was like a 6-month hiatus where you guys didn't see me online like at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude,
Yep.
you do exist.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah. Same could be said for Pickle Matt. We just started playing again with him, and I hadn't seen him online in a long time.
Long time.
But you know,
he was in Japan. You know, the internets are actually better there. So
yeah,
I'm confused why that wasn't happening.
They don't have video games in Japan.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool, dude. So those are kind of healthy, balanced strategies for gaming, and from the addiction standpoint. Like if you think that it's a problem, just talk to someone about it, and especially the people close to you in life, and say, is this like affecting our relationship? Because that would suck, right? And it may be happening without you really realizing it. And dude, you can just fix it. No big deal. No harm done.
Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is you got to reach out to people around you that know you on a personal level to figure out if, no kidding, it's affecting day-to-day life. You know, just like anything else, right? We see on TV shows and all kinds of stuff, interventions for drugs and alcohol and all the things. But like this, it could be the same. You're just not hurting your body necessarily. Right. As long as you get up and move every once in a while. It's just your mental state and your relationships.
It's much more insidious than other types of addiction, I would say. So we've kind of been circling around it, like, is this an addiction or not? And I think we can safely say yes. But it's much more of a slow, insidious type thing than, say, obviously he's an alcoholic or obviously addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
So just be careful, and kind of, if it's going to be a thing in your life, right? And you know yourself enough to know that like you're not going to change. Do something positive with it, right? Like make a podcast, start making YouTube videos about your game. Like maybe you can take that passion, and that's kind of, you look at the title of our podcast, right? One More Game. It's based on the idea that like I can't stop playing, right? Like one more game, Mom, I swear, blah blah blah.
Mom or our wives yelling at us to come down for dinner, and we're like, one more game.
One more. But dude, channel that into something that maybe will be a benefit to you someday, or at least something that you could be proud of with this.
Yeah.
So likewise, if you are addicted to our podcast, you can see down there we are 23 followers short of being affiliate. We've nailed all the other metrics. So if you like what you see, like what you hear, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe and get notifications every time we go live Sunday nights at 9 p.m. You can also reach out to us for emails at OMGpodcastGG@gmail.com, and you guys can send us your thoughts, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, things you'd like to hear, questions you have, or just general chit chat, and we'll get back to you. We started off super strong when it came to emails. We had like 3 emails on our first 3 episodes. or first 4, I guess. But then it's nothing, guys. Come on. But no, just kidding. You don't owe us anything, but we'd love to hear from you. And then if you can't watch or be on Twitch, we'd love to have you pick it up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere else you find your podcasts. And if you definitely like what you hear or see, then give us a 5-star review. It really helps us out with just discoverability and sharing around. But this is kind of our passion project for this activity that we know is ingrained in us for Swift and I. And I'm glad you guys are here along the journey.
Yeah, it's been fun so far, and we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, we're getting into a groove. I got to tell you guys, right before Swift and I were talking before the show went live, I had like a major computer crash, and it uninstalled all the software I need to make the sound work. So if something sounds different, go ahead and let us know either on social media or email. But yeah, we were panicking that we were going to have to delay the show, but we got it worked out.
We figured it out. Well, not we. He figured it out.
Yeah. Cool, man. Any other thoughts you had on addiction when it comes to gaming?
No, nothing. And I didn't see really much in chat as far as if people agree or disagree with our perspective. It sounds like people were kind of saying, yeah, I think you guys are right in a sense, but like Tay said, if you guys are feeling a certain type of way and need some help, like reach out to us or an addiction hotline. If you think we should address some more issues, then again, please reach out to us and we'll address it.
Yeah, if you guys if you like the more serious kind of conversation topics, you can let us know on Twitter, OMG_podcastGG, and we can definitely, talk more real life, hard hitting stuff. But try to keep it light, but talk about stuff that could actually be affecting a gamer in his everyday life.
Yeah, or hers,
or her, or whoever you might be.
Whoever, yeah.
Cool, dude. Well, now that we just talked about gaming addiction, let's talk about the games that we played this week.
I love that.
Maybe we should have put this in a different order, but who cares? All right, so for me, dude, I'll get into it to start. So Destiny, it continues to be my my side piece, if you will. I'm light level 1559, almost maxed out. Basically, the only thing I can do now to get my pinnacle rewards, aside from the weekly stuff, is to do raids, and I can't get enough of you on at the same time to do a raid, so I'm kind of left to grind it slow. I've been doing a lot of like helping my low B friends out, get their level up and do missions and whatnot, but
yeah, dude, I wish I could have raided, but instead I was just
living it up in Las Vegas,
regretting life in Las Vegas. So yeah, Nana F16 said Swift finally smiled tonight. I know, I'm out of it a little bit. It's been a long weekend, so apologies if you're watching.
Some guys can't handle Vegas.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. Yeah, so if you would like to raid with me or the rest of our guild, hit us up on Discord. Send me an email and I'll get you connected to our Bonsai gaming Discord, and we'll get you in the right spot. Cool. My other game I spent some time on was Lost Ark, so I got only 2 more levels. Not much else to say with what's going on. I was talking to Easy, and it seems like he's kind of starting to realize like the time sink that is Lost Ark and how much.
That's what I was talking about earlier. As far as like the honing and stuff, it's crazy.
Yeah. He's like, dude, I don't know if I can keep playing this because this is gonna be life.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I don't know. It's fun. To me, it doesn't have its hooks in me quite like that. Like, I like the I like the feel of the game and stuff, but I'm not obviously not end game and not doing that kind of loop that you're talking about with the raids. But yeah, cool. The other big one I want to talk about: Elden Ring. Team, I think we've had a breakthrough. I beat my first 2 mini bosses, and then I beat my first real boss, Mr. Pumpkinhead guy. I don't know what his name is, Angry Pumpkinhead or something. But I think I figured out what I was doing wrong, and you and I were kind of talking about this. But
Yeah.
these games require a very deliberate button pressing mindset, right? Like most other games you can play and like kind of mash buttons when you want to do something with like no consequence. In this game, if I want to roll or dodge immediately and I hit the button 3 times, it's going to do a couple of those and probably get me hit. That's not how this game works. It's very methodical. Like, I need to dodge, press the button once. I need to block, press it at the right time. I need to watch how things go in this little cadence and then press the buttons at the correct time. And if you try to mash buttons, dude, it doesn't work. So my Elden Ring tip: don't button mash. It doesn't work like that. Cool. Did you get any more Elden Ring in this week?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see what you have to say when you're up. Okay. All right, dude. The Mario Kart maps are out for Mario Kart 8. They're like sprinkle drip feeding them to you like a crackhead. So you get 2 cups unlocked every few weeks. So I thought they were just going to release them all at once, but they've only released 2 so far, and there's going to be, I think, 12, something like that.
Yeah, I guess I got to turn my Switch back on and download those maps.
But they're really cool.
I love Mario Kart.
Yeah, there's one in Paris. It looks like you got drive under the Eiffel Tower. There's a remake from N64, Chocolate Mountain. You remember the chocolate level where you could fall down and be like a whole lap behind?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they remade that with the Gucci graphics and all that. So,
dude, do you remember the Wario level where you could hop the wall and lap everybody?
Yeah,
favorite map ever.
If you're a cheater like you.
No, dude, that's not cheating. That's just exploiting. You know, it's different.
Okay. I guess everyone can do the same thing. So you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Cool. So if you haven't checked that out, get in there, check out some new maps. That game's 5 years old, and they're still making new content for it, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
All right, and then Tunic. I got into my first, what I would describe as like Elden Ring style boss fight. Let me see if we can get this video pulled up. But these games are working in. This is some other random streamer. I don't know. Probably have to credit him, but he's just fighting this boss, right? So I think this game and Elden Ring are working with each other to like teach me how to play these type of games, because it has the same type of like cadence, right? Like dodge hit, watch out for massive attack, watch what the boss is going to do. I still have not beat this thing, but I don't know. I think this game is really good. If you haven't checked it out, get on Game Pass and just play it on the cloud to see if you like it. But a lot of fun. Very, very hard. Harder than I was ready for. Like, I just wandered into this guy not really knowing. Yeah, he just got wrecked.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, love this game. I continue to play it on my phone with the Backbone. And can't say enough good things about it. But it's funny because I think Elden Ring and Tunic go hand in hand. Like, play them at the same time and they'll help you figure it out. Cool. That was my gaming week, dude. How about you?
So I played Elden Ring, and I'm gonna be honest, it's I love it. It's so fun.
It's cool.
It's so fun to play. I can't get over just the visuals of it, the fighting style. It's very different from what I'm used to, so I'm still getting into the swing of things. I think I've slowly started to figure out like the story and how everything works together. I've leveled up a few times now. I was playing like, I don't know, on Wednesday and doing just a random camp. Just a normal camp.
Yeah.
No bosses, no nothing. And I would kill all like the peons around.
The scrubs.
Yeah. And then I would get to like the not even a mini boss, just a normal guy with more health and get immediately murdered. So I had to go
exactly
back.
Where you're talking about.
Yeah, so I had to go back for my runes multiple times and try to sneak into the camp. I kept losing runes. Finally, I was able to level up a little bit for dexterity. I finally figured out where to put my skill points.
Oh, I had a question for you. So
yeah,
have you like looked up anything like how to do stuff or like what route to go or anything like that? Or are you just kind of doing all organic?
No, I looked up how how you level up because I couldn't quite understand it. Apparently, it's just purely based on runes, right? That you get from killing people.
Yeah.
And like where to put those points, basically, is what I've looked up. I haven't
like how to build your dude.
I haven't done a deep dive into like the story or anything, but I'm starting to figure it out as far as like where to go and how to unlock the maps, right? You got to go to those little towers, right? So, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm excited now that I'm back and I'm flying 2 times this week. So I think I'm gonna have a little bit of time to get back into it, but it's really fun, and I'm excited that I'm slowly, very like when I say slowly, I mean very, very slowly starting to figure out this game.
Yeah,
but I'm having a great time doing it.
Nice.
It's very frustrating, just like I said initially. I met that dude who was not even a boss and died 3 times, and I almost put the controller down. I was like, nope, I'm done. But I got back up on the horse and figured it out. And
just like you're talking about, that Pumpkinhead boss guy, I think I died 20 times, and I was like, why do I keep trying this? Like, I'm very surprised that I'm still playing this.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
like, you can't stop once you like, it's tough to start the game because you know what you're going into.
Yeah,
but once you start it, like, you can't turn it off.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's so fun.
There was a couple times where he was like a sliver of health and I died, and I'm like, no. But the feeling of when you beat something is just like, I am this.
Dude, you feel on top of the world.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a random dude, you feel so good.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you opened any treasure chests that have transported you somewhere?
No.
Okay. I won't do too many spoilers as like location and whatnot, but something happens that has changed my understanding of how big this game is, because it transports you to a place and you look at the map and you go, where I was? And you scroll and you go, oh my God.
Can you hit that same treasure chest to get back, or no?
No, it goes, and you try to fast travel, and it goes, you can't fast travel until you find another, whatever they're called, site of grace.
Grace, yeah.
And so, and there's tons of like, right, I've only seen like these mini knights and those little goblins in that cave at this point, and I find this treasure chest that transports me, and I go, and there's like these crazy looking monsters and dudes with magic, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do? So you just kind of try to run out this cave, and you're in a place you have no idea where you are, and everything looks terrifying, and you're like, Mother of God. And you get on your horse, and you're just like trying to find a grave site or a grace site.
Grace site.
Yeah. Let me know when that happens to you. Like, immediately text me and tell me how big the map is in your mind.
I don't want that to ever happen to me. That sounds terrifying.
It is. It was like one of the first times I played a video game where I had like a sense of dread about like not having control of where I can go. Like, I'm like, where did you take me? Can I just
surprise?
Can I just transport back? Oh no. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying Elden Ring. It's very fun. The guy that did it with no damage, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because I die all the time.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'm at 21 deaths overall right now, and I've just been fighting like the normal dudes,
Yeah.
and I'm already at 21 deaths. So
Nice, dude.
yeah.
You still tracking the death counter?
Oh yeah, I have it up
Nice.
every time I play.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to start streaming again and putting it on
Yeah.
the screen.
I'll check that out.
Yeah. The next game I played was, and I know I'm behind timeline here, but I started playing God of War, dude, and it is fantastic. It like I don't even know how to describe it. It's so good. The visuals of it, the fighting style. You start off kind of weak, and I'm not like super far into it, but you start off kind of weak with just an axe that you can recall, basically. But dude, like the story starts, so you enter the game, and I'm saying this because literally this week was the first time I actually played it. You enter the game, and it's a cutscene of basically, I don't know, what's the God of War's, what's his
Kratos.
name? Kratos, yeah. Kratos is burying his, or not burying, but lighting his wife on fire, basically, because she is passed, right?
Oh, spoilers. I guess it's not a spoiler if it's the beginning of the game.
No, it's not a spoiler. No. And then like there's a kid there who is obviously Kratos and his wife's kid. Well, I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm not very far into the game, but um, they, dude, it's so funny. Every time once the cutscene's over, you can basically control the kid to like shoot arrows or do whatever, but you have to like go hunting with him for the first time, and Kratos just calls him boy.
Boy.
Go get that wood, boy.
I'm gonna start doing that to my
comedy.
kids. No Manchester.
Yeah, yeah, dude. But it's fun. So you go hunting with the kid, you find a deer or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're fighting a boss, and which wasn't that difficult. Then they go back to their cabin, and again, I'm not getting into spoilers here, but the like literally 12 minutes into the game, you're fighting this epic boss that he's smaller than you, but he's also kind of like a god. And it is a fight for your life because I didn't quite understand the controls and stuff at that point, right? I literally played the game for 12 minutes, but you just figure it out in that fight. And dude, I'm telling you, man, it is so entertaining. It's so fun.
God, this game is like repeatedly drawing me away from all the other games because I really want to play it.
I'm telling you. Well, just wait for a little bit. I'll let you know if it turns out. But I'm Pickle Matt, J Nick in the chat. They're all saying it's basically perfection. Best game ever.
I know Pickle Matt says that's his favorite game ever. So
yeah, dude. I'm having a great time. I have to, just like we're talking about time sharing.
Yeah,
we have a lot of games going on, so I had to like time share and play when I could. So I didn't get as far into it as I wanted, but so far, dude, it is phenomenal.
Nice. Cool.
The other two, Lost Ark, Destiny, just like you said. Lost Ark, I'm doing endgame stuff. I'm like I talked about, honing and raiding and honing and raiding. But
we'll see. Is it still fun? Like
I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah.
I really am. I have no qualms. I'll spend the time. I spent a long time in my life playing WoW, like we talked about, and this is way better as far as gear progression.
The systems are so confusing to me, like all the engraving and stuff. I just really don't know how any of that works yet. But
yeah, it takes a little bit. They give you quests to kind of explain it, so it's not as terrible as you would think. And then Destiny, I think I am 1544 now. fight level. So I'm ready to raid.
Let's
looking
go.
forward to it as soon as we get 6 people together.
Yeah.
One of these days.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Well, glad you got some good gaming time in with your busy week.
I did actually. I'll be honest, it was all on Tuesday. So
okay.
Tuesday I was like off. I was like off work. I didn't fly. So I like played Lost Ark for the first 2 hours of the day, and then went to God of War for 2 hours, Elden Ring for 2 hours, Destiny for 2 hours. So
he's on a schedule. He's like, all right, guys, I gotta log off.
Yeah, it was a long day gaming, but I got a bunch of games in, and it was fun. I had a good time.
Awesome, dude. Cool. Yeah, I had a great time as well. I was kind of definitely under the weather, but we got in there, got in the realms.
Love that.
Cool, man. That's kind of going to bring us to the end. If you guys liked what you heard, we gave this little spiel already, but send us an email. Give us your thoughts, OMGpodcastGG@gmail.com. We'd definitely love to hear from you. Give us a topic that we can talk about. We've had some user-submitted topics, and we'll get into it. Everything you need to know about what you want to hear. With that, dude, I'll go around the room, this virtual room that we're in. You got anything else you want to hit the fans up with?
Oh, dude, I'm good. Like I said, I'm ready for bed. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet. Cool. You can also find us at OMG_podcastGG on Twitter and Instagram, and myself, twitch.tv/theStroke, and Swift over there at twitch.tv/Swiftmida, and find our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you find your podcasts. With that, we will leave you with just an idea of, never stop playing. Just enjoy your passion and do it healthily, as we talked about in this episode. And we'll see you guys next week. I'll see you next week, Swift.
All right. See you, buddy.
See ya.